So a person who has these under control, what? Not the sense objects, but the raga dvesha, if he has under that control, then atmavashye vidheyatma, this self-control person who has these two things in the control, then their senses can function. They can go about in their daily life doing what they need to do from a perspective of duty, not from the perspective of likes and dislikes. So then what happens? What does this person attain? This person, prasadam. Prasadam meaning, see, this word prasada we had discussed in a different context. Here the word prasada is somewhat similar, but something that gives you like a sense of positive, positive state of mind, a peace. We can say peaceful state of mind, shanti, or a content state of mind. So this person who doesn't have raga dvesha, who is not caught up in the raga dvesha, his senses will still see things, it will hear things, it will, his hands will move, his legs will move, uh, but not based on obsession to things that he likes and hatred towards that which he doesn't like. Hmm? So, somebody, a disciplined person, we can say, a disciplined person is somebody like that. So here it is that yoga kind of training, you train your senses, not because just because you want to be in a military or you want to perfect martial arts or something like that, although there also that training is there. Here you're training because you are driven by that knowledge that this is not my real happiness. So the knowledge is what will train you here. But that sometimes we need to have that complete training. We need to commit to that, take that sankalpa, because that knowledge will not be there with us all the time. We will not have access to that. Our mind will be deluded. So sometimes we have to make a resolution. So here it is said, what does he do? The person who has restrained that sense, Atmavashya, what does he do? He never takes those objects which are being prohibited by the Shastras, Guru, and the sadhana. So they are, these are the things. It is not based on his own reasoning. I should not do this. I should. He has studied the scriptures, he has heard from the gurus, and he or she has understood this is what I should follow. This is the right life for me. And then the next shloka continues. This 4-5 shlokas is a kind of a continuation of one thought with another. So the next shloka is that such a person who has that poised mind and a well-established wisdom, his intellect, that man, that person, who is free from that love and hatred. What happens? Prasada sarva dukkhanam hani asya upajayate. Prasanna chetasa hi ashu vyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. So his intellect becomes firm. The person who is not driven by raga dvesha. huh? So first he needs wisdom to say that I will not go by what my attachment and aversion are telling me. Next, as he continues with that practice, his wisdom becomes steady. huh? How does it become steady? Because he has the prasada. Prasanna chetasa, meaning he has a cheerful disposition towards life. See, sometimes we say that you should be cheerful in life. So this is also many days nowadays you see this is a very popular thought, right? And many, like some Western religions and all, this is the main practice. You try to be happy, you try to be, you make everyone happy, you be cheerful, you be positive. See, this is correct, this is good. But from a more deeper scriptural context, that kind of a practice-based prasada, that is helpful as a practice for your life, but it is not going to be has used the word paryavatesha, it is not going to be abiding always. It is not going to be unless it is backed by that wisdom. Hmm? So when there is wisdom, that cheerfulness will arise as a natural outpouring. A person who doesn't have that positive state of mind, how can he be happy? Hmm? So now what is he saying? That happiness that we are talking about is not the happiness of sensory objects. That happiness, the real happiness we want, that happiness is not the happiness of the world. And to get that happiness, what is the pre-qualification? The pre-qualification is a peaceful and a healthy, positive state of mind. If you don't have that positive, healthy state of mind, then you cannot enjoy that, you cannot get happiness. So if we take it even in a worldly sense, practically little things in life, we can see this, when we are even was see experiencing something, when we are out in the world, there is a little things that we see. We cannot enjoy this little things if we are so caught up with the gross happiness. Later on in Bhagavad Gita, this will come. There is three kinds of happiness, the Lord says. There is a sattvic sukha, then there is a rajasika sukha, and then there is a tamasika sukha. So rajasika sukha is that you want instantly something. Every moment you want something happening. What is that word? Instant gratification. You want this right away, right thing. You are feeling bored or you want to have something. You go to open your fridge, you get instant gratification, or you order on your app and you get whatever you want. So these are the instant ways, and these are the rajasika sukha. Huh? Then there is a tamasika sukha. Tamasika sukha is like you just want to lie down, couch potato, they say, right? You want to watch the movies and do nothing and that kind of thing. Then there is a sattvika sukha. Sattvika sukha is that you are doing japa, puja, studies. All this is sattvika sukha. Above all this is the highest sukha that the Lord is talking about. Huh? And this sukha is not dependent on anything, it is ever accessible, but you have to have the right frame of mind. And especially what we say, the chitta shuddhi. So prasada here can also be taken as chitta shuddhi. When you have the purity of mind, the purity of heart, then you access this always abiding joy within you, right within you. So that purity of mind, see, if you are this is where bhakti marga sometimes is helpful. If you feel lost, if you feel everything, then what do the bhakti marga says? You surrender completely to the Lord. You let go, give all your things to the Lord, and you let go of your own pride, your own delusion, everything. Then immediately you will experience a peace. You can try this. Any time you feel you surrender to the Lord, and you will experience an immediate sense of peace. This is an instant kind of thing. So now again, one more point. What is the connection between peace and happiness? Shanti means peace. We will translate it as peace. And sukha, sukha here is that joy or the inner joy. What is the connection to this? So why are we talking about this? Because we started from this ladder of fall where the person started thinking about worldly objects. He got caught up in that worldly objects, and that took away his peace. He got angry, and that delusion came, forgetfulness came. From that forgetfulness, he lost his discernment of intellect. Now, this is what is happening when desire arises in the mind. So, we talked about this. When you're not watchful and you are sitting peacefully, you're sitting content. Maybe you're sitting by somewhere in nature, Himalayas or Ganga or wherever you are, you're sitting having a quiet, peaceful moment. Then some desire comes in your mind, or some thought comes in your mind. So, what does that thought do? That thought will not allow you to stay in that peaceful state if you're not watchful. So, at that moment, if you're able to contemplate, at that moment, if you're able to bring this bhavana, then you will come back to peace. But if you go with that thought of desire, what will happen? You will go towards that Rajasic Sukha, and that will take away your indwelling Sukha. Hmm? So the implication here is that as long as there is that thirst, there is that kind of a desire for worldly objects in the mind, there is no possibility of that sattvika sukha or that supreme happiness, which is even beyond that. Is taking a boat on the water. So water is implying here something which is not stable. If something is on the land, it is stable. But water implies the state of the mind, which is not stable. A boat on water, when the wind comes, what happens? It will blow away. So when desire comes, when an unstable mind, what will happen? We will run towards that desire. We will get lost. We will get taken away from the course of our direction where we want to go. So this is the example given here to indicate that our intellect has to be firm with knowledge, and we should have our senses trained, free from that pulse of ragadvesha, attraction, aversion. Then what happens? Then when the objects of senses, when the wind comes, all our desires, our aversion, and all those thoughts comes, the mind will stay stable in that wisdom. It will not be like a boat on water. It will be like a boat on land, pegged to something firmly, held to something. So that wisdom of that self, that experiential wisdom of Atma, when we are able to abide in that, then we don't get caught up by worldly objects. We don't get lost. These are, see, we need both wisdom. Earlier, he gave us the wisdom of self as the wisdom of consciousness, or then later on, he'll give the wisdoms of God. In between, now he's giving relative wisdom for practice. These are the knowledge we can use for our daily life practice, how we should abstain, why we should. Most importantly, this wisdom will give us enough motivation to say why we should abstain from seeking petty happiness. And that real, if you really want to be happy, then you have to seek peace. See, the nowadays, I will just say this and we will end here. The nowadays, when people say peace, the problem is people think of it as like, oh, you are bored. So yeah, true. Initially, you need to experience a little bit of boredom. Like when you are doing meditation, you will not immediately experience peace or happiness. You have to go through that phases of boredom. So, but you stay with that. You stay with that state of being neutral without giving into that sensation of excitement or that sensation of agitation. Then slowly behind that sense of neutral sensation, that boredom thing, you will start discovering that state of contentment, peace. Huh? So those who are meditators, you know this. So this is our daily life also. We should be okay with boredom once in a while. Like otherwise, what happens? Every time we pick up the Gita, we'll start fall asleep because we don't work through that. We will think, oh, this is too boring. Let me see something online. Nowadays, this is a problem. The moment you go online, then you cannot come back to Gita because that triggers so many dopamine things in you, and then you cannot settle to lesser thing which gets you deeper joy that you cannot settle to.